altitude. So this road is always free from snow and ice in winter time, so it's kept all the year round work. Tourists walking around aimlessly looking for something to do. It can be all around Europe. Some of them are good drivers, some of them are terrible drivers. In particular, yellow plates. I'm not talking about people from the UK. Dutch, I mean, they call it Netherlands for a reason. When they see this kind of roads, they kind of lose the plot. Rocks and minerals we have around. If you just look around, if you ever been to the Alps, you might be finding some kind of similar to the Central Alps, places like northern Italy, places like Austria, Graubünden in Switzerland, and black granite, grey granite. We have bottom slates, eclosites, dolomites, quartz. We have about 80 different minerals and rocks around here, and that is what gives us this kind of very alpine landscape. So of course we rely mostly into two kind of economies. We have a tourist economy and we have a bit of farming around here. Here you keep mostly mountain goats. They're kept for, of course, dairy farm in Norway. Don't take potatoes with you. It's actually forbidden because Norway is not in the European Union like the UK, but we're Schengen area, so some laws are in common with the EU, other laws they wouldn't be. For example, any EU citizen could come, live here in Norway, settle down here, and of course pay taxes, which is always nice. If you come here, want to pay taxes and give us some money, we appreciate that. Thank you very much. So if you're thinking about a beautiful place where to resettle with better weather than England, consider Norway. So it was a good place. Actually, no, the weather is worse than England here, and I've been living in it's very good. Today is actually quite dry, but you know, weather. We have about 1,000 millimeters of rainfall every year here in Norway, and I've been living in Sheffield for a while. I'm telling you, it's wetter here in Sheffield. It's wetter here in Yorkshire, and it gets even worse in other places. In Bergen. Oh, eagle! In front of us. No, yeah, no, it's not. Eagle, is it? Yeah. But after all, this road is called the Eagle Road because eagles are nested around here. Yeah. I don't see one in
my God, it's so dangerous.
Yeah, we're talking about got distracted about the eagle and I was talking about rain. That's disturbing. That's annoying. Yes, Bergen, which is not far away from here, about 200k. You've got about 2,500 millimeters of rainfall every year. To make a comparison, the wettest place of Europe, including Ireland, is in Ireland. Snow around here. Every year we have approximately 9 meters of snow. That is about 24 feet, not 21 feet. But 2 years ago we had 12 meters of snow, 30 of 500, 600 meters above the sea level. On the village would be slightly less than that, but still it's kind of snowy around here. So summertime we have about 15 degrees, as I said, 20 to 25 degrees, even 28 degrees Celsius on a hot summer day, and that is because of the granite. Granite will warm up with the sun rays and then release the heat most of the time at night time. But in winter time actually we have a quite decent weather as well. We have -5 to +5 Celsius. So it's not bitterly cold, it's kind of chilly of course. After all, we are on the sea. What was that? I hear noise. How is it? Some type of signal. So as I said, winter time we have 5 to +5, -5 degrees Celsius. So we are under 67, older than yesterday. So not far away from here. That is also a beautiful spot. So basically we are on the next fjord, which is the fjord northwards from that. It's not far away from here. If you take the road, it will be about 2 hours drive from here. Here in Norway is always better not to think about miles or kilometers, always think about how long does it take to drive there. So for example, from here we have our next hospital. It's not really that far away, just 100k, but you take 2 hours and a half driving there, because you have to go all around the mountains, you have to go to the pass, you go straight until this valley ends, you have the other side of the fjord, you have to take the ferry, which just takes you about 10 minutes to cross the other side of the fjord, but you have to wait 20 minutes for the ferry to come and, you know, embark, disembark. So it's always better to think about, you know, this always think about in the hours and half an hour, how long does it take you to get in any place. Another example, Oslo, our capital, is about 300 km away. You take at least 6 to 7 hours drive. Also, Norway is a massive country. We have the 5th biggest people living around the coast. All the south coast until pretty much Trollstigen, which is much north, is over the Arctic Circle. We have 2,700 kilometers of coast, which is about, let me see, 18,000 miles more or less, and Norway has the second longest coast of the planet, just after Canada. So according to the last figure of our government, was 2021, Norway has 103,000 kilometers of coast. If I convert correctly, that should be approximately 60,000 miles of coast. So the longest one of the planet will be Canada with 200,000 kilometers. That should be roughly 90,000 miles. They actually work as a speed bumps as well. Oh, you have to cross the road again. Close. There you go. We have quite a big number of animals around here. We have, as I said before, mountain. And if I are the goats, yeah, here left inside the goats. I'm not wearing my spectacles. Those are goats like the Norwegian mountain goats. They have a milk production of approximately, very bad at counting, 12 pints of milk every day. Then we have here the Norwegian red cows. If you are into cattle, they are a breed that comes of course from the Holstein and white and red Norwegian cow. They pretty much, they look like Holstein, like the white and red cows, but they be much smaller, and the odors are way higher because they have to climb around the mountain so they wouldn't hurt themselves. And they have a milk production of approximately 80 liters of milk every day, as opposed to the Frisian cow, the black and white cows. They have about 120-130 liters of milk every day. They would just adapt better to this kind of environment. So here on the left hand side we have our Eidsvatn. We're going to have our first break here, and it's also a lovely spot to have a break because we have toilet free of charge on the side. And it's actually quite important to have toilets free of charge in Norway because, first of all, that is my personal point of view, you should never be charged by EFA to use a toilet because that should be a crime against humanity. Second thing, they tried to go on the direction of the cashless society in Norway, which some people don't like. I personally don't like it, but the word red brown house with grass on top. So we can sometimes it sounds like it's not working. We're gonna have 15 minutes break here. So now it's 7 minutes past 9. Let's say 17:23. Please everyone back on tour bus number 3 on 23 minutes past 9.
What's the step? Oh my god, it happens anything.
बाबा तो कैमरा ढोकाओ ना बाबा पापा को कैमरा का पकड़ लो सब के तुम देखो तो एखाনে তোমার খরচ দূর
Ready?
So that means there is 2 buses everywhere and literally people running around everywhere. We kind of get a bit stressed out. Oh, something interesting to notice, every single herbit like this one, if you just look on the right hand side, has a name and a sign with the name of it. Some of them being Norwegian and English very similar as a language. I mean, if you come from Yorkshire and you see the sign Barn Lakey, which is Norwegian literally translation, but some of the signs around here, they can be very, very funny. For example, on the next band on the right hand side, there is a lovely sign, which you will see it, I'm going to tell you, so we're going to slow down to allow them. Yeah, you pronounce it Orstok, and it's a surname. Imagine having that in the UK. So every single band has a name because to identify them better, just in case something marvelous happens around here, you call an ambulance and go, how does a baby getting delivered on Orstok band? You can call the ambulance and tell them. So that is the reason why these bands have the name. And on top of that, they always are all related to the landscape, the family around here. So Arsdog is because Arsdog family lives there, funny enough. And there is another one that, if I remember correctly, is what was his name of that? It's also kind of funny. Yeah, Bake Brat, something like this. So nothing to do with making brats. It's just another surname. Here more mountain goes around here, and this is 10 to 10, about about, so I think they just been milked around this time, because they get milk twice a day. Once is about 9-10 o'clock in the morning,
so
and then they get
raro.
milk again about 4 to 5, and they exactly like cows, they will queue up and they go in the direction of the barn to get milk. Yeah, here black bugs
So
being
bad, guys. What the beautiful.
That's it, still alive. Made it, that's good. You're gonna crush on the Audi, of course. BMW, I know alright. The drivers are alright. I've got a personal hatred against, maybe because my dad drives one Audis. Like, let's see how they look. So on the right hand side we have our Geirangerfjord. What are the fjords? So the fjords are these kind of, they look like lakes, but basically they are connected with the North Atlantic Ocean. And if you just look at the color, you might wonder why don't they have this nice sea green sort of color or Mediterranean blue sort of color. That is because the fjords are a mix between salty water and so we end up on the fjord and would make a layer of fresh water on. In our fjord. So you have herrings twice a year, they come in May and then again they will come again in September, October. There's not really a certain week, but more or less that is the time they come in the fjord. Then you got your mackerel that will come at the same time, because mackerel will sleep one herring, they hunt the herrings. At the same time you also have some cobra inside, you have your pollocks, you have halibut, you have eels, and more or less pretty much every time of the year, maybe about in September, October, you have we don't really have much salmon here because this is not really a salmon fjord. But in other fjords, for example in North Fjord, when you were yesterday, you have your salmon as well. And you've got some sharks, not many, they're mostly green sharks, they stay in the deepest bits of the fjord. Our fjord will be 280 meters deep, that is approximately 650, and the fjord is actually quite deep. Our fjord is connected, it's basically a branch of the Suitor fjord, the big fjord in Norwegian. From here, from Geiranger town to the open sea, you have approximately 120 kilometers, that is about 65 miles. Here in Norway, where they are, if they lost, because they've got this kind of aligned system in their brain, they can always understand if they're facing north and south. But sometimes if there is an electromagnetic field or if there is an electromagnetic storm, they kind of lose the direction, so they will start walking, fishing, sailing around, swimming around the fjord, looking for the way out. Now, how can you tell a fjord from a lake? Because of the kind of colors. Just look at the colors, that will be pretty much the same color from the lake. But here on the fjord in particular, if you look at the coast, actually today we have pretty much a slow tide. On the fjord you have tides, we have a high and a low tide, approximately 80 centimeters, 40 inches of tides. If you just look at the coast here, you'll see you got seaweed, and if you're walking around you find a lot of sea life around the coast. So you have your crabs hopping around like rabbits, you have your you can see your sea star, and if you just look inside the water you'll be able to see different kind of fish. Like sometimes you see herring, you've seen quite a big amount of mackerels, sometimes you can even see cod, and there'll be all fish. Correct, but you know the fjord is the seaside. and also the locals would never call it the fjord. With the difference again, we have the Västerås waterfall, one of the most beautiful economies.
Wag na. Ito na daw ang queue eh.
Where's the queue?
We are in the prom. Nandito. There, ang ticket.